Hey everyone, welcome to my channel. In today's 3 and 9, we are going to be discussing Dear Evan Hansen, The Eyes of Tammy Faye, and Venom 2. Let's go. Dear Evan Hansen is a musical about a high school boy suffering from debilitating anxiety and depression. To get himself through the day, he writes notes to himself as a pick-me-up. A letter gets into the hands of a troubled boy named Connor, who ends up committing suicide. The boy's parents find the note, believes Evan has written the letter to the deceased, and the misunderstanding begins a lie that snowballs from there. This movie is, of course, the film version of the hit play that debuted on Broadway in 2016. It received near total praise despite its dicey politics, and it won 6 Tony Awards, including Best Musical. It made Ben Platt a star, and he reprises his character for the film. So much has been said about him being too old to play the role, and it is true. He plays a teen here, yet looks every bit of 28. And it makes the film absurd in a way that the filmmakers did not intend. But Ben Platt is a beautiful singer, and his voice shields this film from being way too corny to just kind of corny and overly emotional. His voice, I think, persuades you to believe in the stakes and emotions in the film. And man, he does a good job showing what it's like to live with crippling anxiety. I felt my heart constricting with Evans at times. And most of the actors are pretty good. Julianne Moore plays Evan's hardworking, working-class mother, oblivious to the depth of his struggles. Caitlin Dever wonderfully portrays Zoe and shows the trauma of being the sibling of a troubled brother prone to aggressive behavior. I am a bit shocked at Amy Adams' performance. It seems kind of fake. I don't really know how to explain it. I feel like a lesser actress inhabited her body for this role, and she played Connor's mother a bit one-dimensional in a way that I didn't feel was a purposeful choice. And now onto the content of the plot. Evan basically sees his life start to take a turn for the better when he enmeshes himself into the lives of this grieving family. He's found a surrogate mother who's attentive, a father that actually wants to spend time with him, and a girl that begins to have the same romantic feelings for him as he does for her. The issue is it's all a lie. Connor's family thinks Evan was his best friend, but in one of the only 2 times the two spoke, Connor is screaming in Evan's face. But the family is none the wiser. Rather than come clean, he revels in the intention until it blows up in his face. And blows up in his face is too strong of a phrase here, actually. When he finally tells the truth, there are really no real consequences. He loses the surrogate family and girlfriend for sure, but in the end, his mother finally pays attention to him, and the whole ordeal gives Evan a newfound confidence at the expense of playing a really cruel long game to a family that does not deserve this. While trying to make Connor's family feel better about his troubling behavior and subsequent death, he constantly tells them that he was secretly kind. He was a sensitive soul that cared deeply about his sister and her interests. And those falsehoods help her to begin to have positive feelings towards her emotionally abusive brother. But once she finds out that he never had a conversation with Connor about her, wouldn't she go back to struggling with her feelings about him? We never find out. Everyone is magically okay at the end of the movie, and the plot is saying that maybe his lies were worth it so that there could be healing, but that's just not true. If you desperately wanted to see the play but couldn't, then I suppose this wouldn't be a waste of your time, so you can get a little bit of a taste of the Broadway play. But if not, I'd skip this. Nothing is learned, and I'm not quite sure the writers have it right about who was the victim and who's the villain. Next up, we have The Eyes of Tammy Faye, a dopey biopic about Tammy Faye and her husband Jim Bakker, 2 televangelists that rose to fame in the 70s and 80s and made their own gaudy empire come crashing down following sexual misconduct, lies, and greed. Jessica Chastain and Andrew Garfield play Tammy and Jim, and I cannot get over the decisions they made to portray these 2 people. I saw a clip of Chastain saying she made this movie because she cares deeply for Tammy, but I really don't see that care here. The entire movie feels like she and Andrew were mocking the couple rather than reaching for sympathy. First of all, both performers make their characters seem like complete bimbos. There's this random scene where they're in bed together and they want to be intimate, but their Christian beliefs forbid them from doing so. So instead, their hands are suspended in the air trying to not touch each other. It's just really strange. Was it supposed to be funny? Did Tammy and Jim tell the director this exact moment happened? I don't know. It was so silly and it made you want to laugh at them. And maybe these two people deserved to be mocked. Televangelists are bad. They twist scripture to manipulate people's piety by promising them intangible things in exchange for people's last hard-earned dollar sometimes. When I reviewed Respect, Aretha Franklin's biopic, I said that it's really hard to make a rich biopic of someone's life over the span of 2 hours, and this is yet another biopic that fails. There's no teeth in this film. It's an ugly mix of Chastain wanting to redeem Tammy, but also not want to investigate her role in the rise of televangelism. I know she was beloved for extending warmth to people plenty of Christians typically don't go out of their way to seek out, but two things can be true. You can be a revolutionary to some, but also make really, really poor decisions over and over again. It's possible her warmth actually shielded her from consequences and taking people's money for so long. I think it's okay to explore that while also still being sympathetic to the entire human being. Don't see this film. I think there are plenty of documentaries that do a great job of exploring the dangers of prosperity gospel and rather show, the truth of the Bible and what Christians actually really believe and hope in. Finally, we have Venom 2, Let There Be Carnage. It's the latest Sony Marvel superhero mashup of 2021. As a refresher, Venom follows journalist Eddie Brock as he learns how to live with an alien symbiote that is lashed onto his body and won't leave him alone. Eddie can transform into this demonic-looking black creature that is destructive and has a childlike stubbornness. The first movie ended with Brock trying to figure out how to love his new alien attachment, and the second film picks up from there. The parasite and the host are struggling to live together. Venom has a temper, he's big and messy. Meanwhile, murderer Cletus Cassidy, aka Carnage, played by Woody Harrelson, he's on death row thanks to Eddie's reporting on his crimes. And right before he's set to die, he gets a taste of the symbiote coursing through Eddie's blood. And he becomes infected with his own virus. And of course, carnage ensues. This movie was fun enough, and it's just as loud and as chaotic as you want a superhero film to be. Yet it's so distractingly similar to the first movie, I don't see the merit for its existence. Even the end credits that remind the audience that the MCU is a never-ending parade, it could have been thrown on the back of the first movie and it wouldn't have made a difference. The first movie was about Eddie learning to live with Venom, all while fighting off an evil person that is also infected with their own virus that exacerbates their harmful behavior. This sequel is about Eddie learning to live with Venom while fighting off an evil person that is also infected with their own virus that exacerbates their harmful behavior. The two movies have different beginnings, sure, but the same middle and end. Michelle Williams and Reed Scott reprise their roles, offering nothing new in their dynamic with Eddie. Naomi Harris is also in this. She's the Harley Quinn to Carnage's Joker, complete with a cartoonish voice, love for calamity, and devil-may-care attitude. If you keep up with the MCU, I think you can skip this one without being thrown too off course and just look up the end credits on your own. It's not a waste of your time, but it certainly doesn't offer up anything fresh and exciting for superhero fans, an audience that genuinely does deserve richer movies. And that is the Mondesier critique. I'll see you guys later.